9 elements, and but the elements I want to talk to. Oh God, no, you don't have to record this. Alright, record it. So the one thing that I really like about this tool, can I show it? No, I don't think I can show it now. But one thing that they do is they talk about market sizes. Market size. So let's say, for instance, I'm talking about a product that I want to sell. This is an actual case. My company was building a website called the Breedse Leesclub. Don't ask about the name, but the idea is to help kids read a book together. It's sort of the first experience with social networking also. But, so if you go to that website right now, you can sort of sign up and then be part of a library club. And within that library club, ages 10 to 12, you can read a book. Now we'd like to sell this product to other parties. Who to? Publishers, schools, libraries, and maybe even individuals. Get kids to individually sign up with a reading center. So immediately you start thinking, okay, we have schools. Well, how many primary schools are there in the Netherlands? 600? 6,000? Yeah, so we say 3,000? I have no idea. 3,000, well, how many publishers? I think the publishers that I want to sell to, I think publishers of children's books, maybe 20, not so many, maybe 20. Individuals. So individuals, well, kids 10 to 12 in the Netherlands, could probably be a couple of, let's say 100K. And who else? Oh yeah, libraries. I think in terms of libraries, there would be about also 1,000 that I could ask. Then of course we have the price. Well, the price per unit. Now the price per unit, of course, is different for the different entities. So for a school and for a library, it's going to be about the same because, well, they have the same unit that we were talking about. So for schools, I could ask maybe I don't know 1,000, and for libraries, I could ask also 1,000. And for publishers, they could use this tool over and over again. So we could say, well, for each project that they run, they could sell it maybe 10, 20 times. So let's say 10,000 per project. So to say, and for individuals, well, they need to buy the book and they need to pay for the tool. So let's say about 50. Of course, we might be able to get some subsidy on this, but we'll get to that later. And then, of course, we have the penetration. And this is where it gets interesting, because I think you already know where I'm going with this. Penetration, of course, here is going to be how many can I convince in a short period of time. So let's say when the business model was fully up and running, well, out of 3,000 schools, I could probably get maybe 1% or so 30 schools. Out of publishers, 20 publishers, I can get maybe 5 or 6 to sign up, so 25%. Individuals, well, very hard to get to market to them, so I think maybe 0.1%. And libraries, well, about the same as schools, so 1% again. And now I think you all know what the next step is going to be. I'm going to just multiply them all. And hopefully from that, so let's see if I can do this, so that's 10 times 10,000, so that's 10K. So if I'm going to market to libraries, I'm going to make 10K in my first year. Not the kind of money I'm looking for. I'm looking for a lot more than that. So individuals, around 50 euros, but only a very small part. So a tenth of this is about 100. That's a bit conservative. Okay, so well, let's say I can get 1%. Immediately I start making more money. That's about 50K. Very nice. Then publishers, well, 25 times 20 is 5 times, so here I can make 50K. That's interesting. This is the kind of money, I mean, I could do this maybe with 1 or 2 guys, so 50K is already going in the right direction. And then schools, so 3 times 1%, that's 30, so this is 30K. Now, of course, so immediately you say, okay, selling to publishers is probably going to be the easiest because, well, I only have to convince about 5 out of 20 publishers, and then already I'm up and running. So right now I'd say, okay, I'll go for this particular business model. But of course, each of you will say, well, why don't you just go hybrid? Why don't you go for this and this model and this model? You can see that I'm leaving out individuals because I think those are the hardest to sell to. But so with this particular business plan, I could make 90K per year. Is that a reason to do it? I'm a little bit hesitant for a number of reasons. One is 50% of the ownership of this product is in the hands of somebody else. So I'd be making them 45K. And like I said, I need about 2 to 3 guys, so yeah, it's probably not a good business model. But what I want to show you is that I want you guys to start theorizing about your product as well. There's of course a risk in saying, okay, I'm going to go for 3 or 4 or 5 markets, because well, then you spread your risk, you also spread your efforts, and perhaps I should be just working on this and maybe changing something about the price. But it's these kinds of calculations I want to see in your marketing plan, just so you know. All right, moving right along. So here you see some of the steps following after sort of the orientation, seeing what's strong about my product, what's strong about my particular image. You have to take a look at your target market. Well, already you see that I'm doing that here. Marketing mix, so who am I going to target specifically and how am I going to do it? Marketing mix also talks about the channels that you're going to use. So for Frappit you could have TV commercials, internet commercials, nu.nl, etc. Whereas for, well, you guys, you want to be at conferences and talk at a development conference about how cool your tool is. Then of course implement your strategy. Very important, design performance metrics. So this is something I want you to talk about as well. If you're going for a 10, I would say, this is one of the key things I'll be looking for. Because then I can immediately hear like, okay, we spend on AdWords 30 euros a month. I'm saying a very low amount, of course. And then we are getting maybe 10 purchases from that, which are worth so much. So then, your performance measures are good, and then you can say, okay, 1 year we'll keep going with AdWords, or you can say, well, AdWords is not it for us. Periodically, of course, evaluate what you're doing and make changes if you do it. One of the coolest things, tools that are out there, especially for tools like Frappit, is the Google, what's it called? I think the website builder, and there you can do alpha and beta testings, or A/B testing, and then you can have 2 websites or 2 versions of your front page. And depending on which one you show, you can see which one leads to the most leads. So did this a number of times, and they showed that they had, I think, 6 or 7 versions up. And they showed that if the word gratis was on the front page 3 times, they would get the most leads from that. So, and of course you need to have big numbers of visitors, but Frappit will have those kinds of visitors, hopefully. So, and they could very, very well show, like, okay, if we say gratis 2 times, we get this many conversions. So, and by conversion, they meant somebody who visits the website to start signing up. So, once they start signing up, and these percentages are very, very low. So, in the case of I think 1% of people who came to the site would sign up, and with 3 times gratis, it'd be 4%, which apparently is still, they were really happy with these numbers. Well, the 4 Ps, I think you must know this. If you've done any kind of HBO study, you do know this. This is like the Michael Porter's model of HBOs. Pricing, product, placement, promotion, and of course people and process. So you could say there are 6 Ps. Well, product, how many features per product, how many variability in your product. I'm quite surprised nowadays that when you want to buy a car, the base price always looks really reasonable. You say like, oh wow, Volkswagen Passat, it's a nice car, or the CC, maybe 25,000 euros. 25,000 euros, I mean for you that's a lot of money, but for a car that's fairly reasonable. But if you want something like seats or windows in it, then immediately the options go up like crazy. And before you know it, you're spending 40, 50 on a car. And I've even seen like small, like a Golf, you can spend up to 50, 60,000 euros. It's a Golf, people, that's not too crazy. So Volkswagen, what Volk is going to pay that kind of money? Alright, so I want to do a small exercise. I want you to pair up with another product team and basically give each other good ideas for the marketing strategy. It's again a bit outside of the box thinking. So for instance, for the security guys, well, try to think what could help them to sell their product more easily. How could they go from just the Dutch level to the international level? How could they sell it without having to move to another country, so to Belgium, Germany, or even the States? So start thinking about those kinds of questions. You have about 7 minutes, and then afterwards I'd like to get a quick vision of what's going on. Is it easy to merge just every row, or is that possible? Okay, so that people don't have to move too much. All right, you have about 7 minutes, so I'd like to continue at 4.